Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this is actually the end of an era. I didn't even think that till we just started recording because this is the last review of the Blood Gulch Chronicles of Red versus Blue, which is kind of sad because we've been on this since I'm gonna say since the beginning of the year. I know we started it like 3 years. Actually, wait,
Yeah,
was
like
it?
2 years ago. I was like 16, so yeah, it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad in a way. I don't. I really like to think though we started it earlier this year because we didn't really consistently
Yeah,
watch
we
it.
really only watched like the first episode.
Yeah. Because
I
then
mean,
I
well, together. I'm already caught up to date. So
yeah, but it's kind of sad in a sense because we've been on this a while. Um, but this is the end of the chronicle. Not the chronicle, but the anthology of the Blood Goat series. Um, I mean, it's not the end because we have the mini series, but this is like the end, like of a whole
yeah,
season.
that's like the main end. Like the Recovery one is more like a prelude to season 6. So like for the main Blood Gulch Chronicles, like yeah, this is the end. It's pretty sad.
It's kind of sad. So we're here to talk about it.
Yeah. So I'm AJ Talent, and you are
Owen Finch.
and this is
Sometimes
our
I forget.
What's up?
Sometimes I forget about the intros for some reason. I
Don't
could
worry
say
about
I could say let's redo this, but I kind of like it. So
it. Yeah.
um,
This is our review of Red vs. Blue Season 5. And, like, in a week or two, we'll put out, like, our Blood Gulch Chronicles review, like, of all 5 seasons.
yeah. We're gonna review this, and then we're gonna review Recovery 1, and then in in a couple weeks review all 5 seasons, which is nice because it gives us a chance to kind of in a sense redo that season 2 review we did because we need to.
I know, because that was pretty bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm actually excited about this. And we got to get this joke out there because we're not going to stop until Netflix fixes it. It's season, and there's more than one episode on Netflix.
I know, right? It's not Volume 5, Episode 1. It's Season 5, and there's like 20 episodes, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And then, the joke's coming too once we get to season 13. We should do a joke because technically that's like the last season that's on Netflix.
last volume, Owen, last volume.
Right. All right, so these episodes came out in the span of September 30th, 2006, up until January 28th. No, not Jan. So let me say that again. So these episodes came out in the span of September 30th, 2006, up until June 28th, 2007, which is pretty cool. And like I always say with these reviews, do the math, and you can figure out when each single episode came out. Because if we did that, we'd be here all day. That's going to be a running joke when we do these reviews. I'm going to say that every time. So let's talk about the opening to this season. Probably, if I had to say, too, out of the Blood Gulch Chronicles, for both of us, and just overall for me, this is like my favorite season of the show so far.
Yeah.
And, so the episode starts off basically because, like I said, Netflix wasn't as big of a thing then. They had to basically kind of recap in a way everything that happened the previous season.
Before that, let's talk about they had a new intro for the beginning, which I think was really cool, like a new theme song.
Yeah, that was pretty damn cool.
It was the same theme song. It was just like an instrumental, not like the lyrics.
Yep.
And like they updated it because like new characters came in, like Wyoming and like Andy and stuff.
Yep. And yeah, pretty much. Yeah, then it opens and they kind of recap it. I always like that they find creative ways to recap the previous season. Basically, they do it this way, where Church comes back to the Blue Base and he asks Doc, and he just basically in like a minute just kind of recaps like the end of the last season, where where that ship showed up for the Reds and stuff like that.
Yeah, and this is like a minute after season 4 ends, so I think that's cool. How like right from one to the next,
Yep. Yeah, pretty much we find out Team Blue team's not looking too hot right now because Tucker went in a coma after giving birth to his kid. Which I can imagine that would happen because, we're never going to know this So Tucker now knows what it's like to give birth, I guess. But we really don't know if he knows.
I can't really blame him for going to a coma. You know, like how does that even work? A guy giving birth? I mean, I would go into a coma.
Yeah, especially too. It's probably we don't even know like the traditional way he had to do it because it's an alien this time he's doing versus just a human. So it's probably yeah. And then apparently like the alien kid have to eat like human blood. So pretty much he just like Caboose like had half of his blood drained out pretty much. So he's like passing out. And they go back to it like from time to time, like throughout the beginning. Like we'll see Caboose like revive and said, "I'm okay, I'm all fine," and it'll just collapse right afterwards. It's pretty damn.
It's like I'm not okay. So that poor Caboose. And I like how he's like on the ground, like I'm in so much pain, and Church is like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Church wants to go in and just kill the alien, but Doc is telling him, "No, you're not doing that."
Yeah.
And it's like a running gag throughout the rest of the season that Church just wants to kill the abomination.
Yep. And Doc, all he cares about is taking care of the alien, and he's just a doctor. He's not really like in the army and stuff like that. So pretty much Blue Team's not looking too hot right now.
Yeah, like really the only one who's like up and about is Church.
And they make the joke that he's not really that good of a soldier. Like he can't even shoot a gun really and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sheila,
what's up?
And Sheila too is all messed up right now too.
Yeah, she's acting weird. So we come back to the red team. They think Donut's dead because a giant ship fell on top of them.
Yep.
But they keep hearing tapping, so they think, "Oh, Donut's alive under the ship."
And
they're trying to think of all kinds of ways to actually just get the ship off of them.
And Griff and Simmons are coming up with logical ways, but yet Sarge just wants to do it like the most impossible way ever that makes no sense.
Yeah, they're like, "We'll get a shrink ray and shrink it," or like Donut, or they're trying to make Donut mad, so Donut like lifts the ship up.
Yep. I love too, like one of the times like he like Griff and Simmons came up with they were just gonna dig it out, and like Sarge leaves, but he leaves like with the shovels and stuff that they could use to like dig the ship out.
Yeah, and I like how Simmons is like, how we haven't starved it to death, I have no idea.
Yep.
Church comes over and he's like calls dibs on the ship, so he tries to get the ship from them.
Yep.
But he threatens them with Sheila, but Sheila is like being weird and like just takes off. So the Reds threaten Church and he runs off. So the Reds have the ship again. That's cool.
And then Church goes over to talk with Doc, so he can pretty much radio into command, to like get basically new recruits pretty much because the Blue Team's not looking too hot right now.
We get our first look at Junior because we hadn't seen Junior before, so we actually get like our first like look at him.
I actually was I didn't think we would like really see like him. I guess I really think but it actually looked pretty cool. I quite like the way they made like the design look. It's kind of cool.
I like how he like looks like Tucker. Like he's the same color.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense because Tucker's just wearing armor, but whatever.
Yeah, we gotta kind of go with it sometimes. So, and basically, Church just wants to kill the Thin. Church tries to radio in with Vic to send reinforcements, but Vic isn't there, so he gets put on voicemail. And basically, he can't even leave his voicemail because and this is basically like taking a jab at like anytime like you call it like a service and like they tell you press this button to do this. Like press 1 to leave a message, press 2 to redo the message or whatever. And eventually it just gets to the point where the machine just says press 11 to do something else. And he's like, there is no fucking 11.
Yeah.
Like
that's another thing I like about the season, the running joke of like red team will think blue team is like in like the best position, but then it'll cut back to the blue team and they're getting their asses kicked.
Yep.
Or like the blue team will think the red team is like super good, but like the red team is getting their ass kicked.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty funny.
So then pretty much back at the red base, we see the ship open, and we find out that it was somebody with yellow armor, and we find out this person was doing the tapping, and what I mean by that is he was tapping on the ship. It sounds really wrong when you take it out of context.
Well, considering the character, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We find out this is Griff's younger sister.
Yep. And I do like how they asked, well, then where's Donut? And we see like Donut like fell underground, and
so there's like this cave underground that they didn't know about. So
yeah. And he's like looking, and he sees like a bunch of dead bodies, and he just thinks they're sleeping, which was pretty damn funny. So yeah, we find out this is Griff's younger sister, and basically she's saying like a lot of embarrassing stuff about like basically the family background and stuff like that, like how Griff's mom like is like a sword swallower and like a bearded lady at the circus. So basically, like Simmons and Sarge, especially Sarge, is giving Griff shit. And we find out that she was sent there. She enlisted in the army, too. So that way,
I think she's like the youngest person there, actually.
Yeah.
Because I think someone says like she's like a teenage girl at some point, so she's only like 19 or something.
I think too. They made a joke about it that this doesn't make any sense. Like, how did she survive? Since the future not the future, but the present got destroyed. How did she survive that?
Yeah. So Simmons like theorized that like she went to light speed and like went to the future or something.
Yeah.
Weird. Doesn't really matter. It's just something.
I just want to mention that like they did mention it. Because it's nice. Because then we don't have to sit here and say, how does this make any sense? I like that this show kind of does that for us in a sense.
Yeah,
but,
it's just like it's just they're just like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not good to do that sometimes, but like sometimes like this where it's for comedy, it's all right.
Yeah. So then Sister basically said that she was sent there because the leader died, and this is weird because Sarge is clearly alive, but they actually believe it. Like Sarge actually believed that he died.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, Griff is like, well, Sarge, if they're wrong about this, what else is Command wrong about? What if the Blues aren't shitty? What if they're amazing? So Sarge is like, all right, either I'm alive and the Blues are great, or I'm dead and the Blues suck. So he decides to be dead.
Yeah. So they have a funeral for Sarge, and basically, Griff just uses it to roast Sarge the whole time, which is pretty damn funny. And Donut uses it.
Simmons. Simmons like campaigns for his job at his funeral, which is pretty funny.
Yep. And then Sister, it's just basically saying that it's gross to be old, and this is like a joke that like Griff wrote for her.
Yeah. He's like, Sister doesn't even know Sarge.
Yeah.
Oh, and I like how like they have like a little plaque and it says like, in memory of Sarge in little letters, and Donut, I guess.
Yep, because they didn't.
They kind of just moved on from Donut real quick.
Yep. So then Sister mentions the way that the leader died, and this is something to note because in season 3, Church gave the leader what was it again? I forget. Tylenol, right?
Oh, aspirin.
Aspirin, and he's allergic to aspirin. So that was like a clue that they gave us, like saying like, yeah, she's not at the right base. So basically she reveals, that she's at the wrong base pretty much. Not really.
So she's colorblind, so she thought she was at the blue base the whole time.
Yep. So Simmons basically wants to kill her because now she's a part of the Blues, and it goes back to that whole conspiracy. Red versus blue, they're consistently supposed to hate each other. But I said I like this because it's kind of cool that like now the Reds have someone like that they care about in a sense on the other team. So it makes it kind of harder for them to fight, the other team.
Yeah, I like how Griff is even like, look, Sarge is gonna want to kill you, so like go over to blue team, we're safe.
So he sends Simmons. So pretty much when they figure out Sarge is actually alive.
Well, they always knew he was alive. They just buried him because they're stupid.
And
Simmons digs him up because they buried him, and Simmons finds out that like he's not in the grave.
Yeah, which there's more on that later. And then you want to talk about what happens like back at the blue side when Griff goes to give up Sister.
Okay, so first off, Caboose is like up and running again. Tucker's out of his coma, so the Blues like have their numbers back.
Yep.
But they're still worried because they think Sister is like a freelancer like Tex, so they're worried Sister's gonna like kick their ass.
And I like the joke they made, like that Tucker knew instantly that that Sister was a girl. Like,
yeah, because he's like the pervert or
yeah.
like the ladies' man, whatever.
And I like how they kind of use that joke, like since they all look alike, and dressed in armor, they can't tell like the gender that they are.
Exactly. And they make a joke like that later, where like the Reds are watching the Blues on the camera, and they're like, "Oh, without any sound, they just look like heads bopping around."
Yep. It's pretty damn great.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue talking about everything that goes down, with this.
Yeah. Okay. So Griff tells Sister to go over to the Blues. Oh, sorry. One little joke that it's a super small joke, but I liked earlier. Like Tucker's like calling Church fat, and Church is like, "Well, hey, back off, guys. I've been carrying this whole fucking team."
Yeah.
And then Tucker's like, "Where'd you carry us? The buffet?" So it's a small joke, but I think it's pretty funny.
It's funny too because in a sense, Church kind of has been carrying the whole team.
He really has. So Sister joins the Blues like formally now. Church gives her like a quick little tour of the base and explains to her the one rule that they don't kill the leader, but everyone keeps breaking that rule. So
I like to like when he's explaining it, he just basically like does it like in a robotic way, just like, yeah, this is the base, this is red base, and he just basically like points out like all the things that like wouldn't be interesting. He's basically like making fun of the game pretty much. Like,
yeah. So yeah, Church sucks at being a leader and giving tours. While they're talking with that while they're getting to know Sister, they're also trying to have Doc figure out what's up with Sheila because Sheila's like acting weird and like being violent.
Yep.
And while this is happening, Sister notices that Tex is sneaking up behind them.
Yeah. I feel like actually too, I want to switch roles and you talk about the red stuff and the blue because this is like something I wanted to talk about.
All right, sure. So I'll talk about the Reds.
Yeah, I kind of because like the blue stuff, like a lot of it that happened has been building up for a while, and I want to be the one that talks about it.
Yeah, sure. So they switch back over to the Reds real quick, where Simmons is talking about how Sarge like probably fell through the grave hole more, and it revealed a cave. Griff doesn't want to go in because he's afraid of bats. But Simmons just pushes him in anyway. Oh, but that joke I was talking about earlier, I like how Simmons is worried that because they only have two guys, that the Blues are going to come rushing over yelling charge. And then it cuts back to the Blues screaming retreat, and they're getting their ass kicked.
Which we'll get into that in a second.
Simmons pushes Griff in the hole. He jumps in after them, and Simmons and Griff are now in the cave. And while they're entering the cave, Sarge meets up with Donut. And Sarge originally thinks this is hell.
Yep.
And then when he sees Donut, he's like, "Oh my God, it is hell! No!"
Yep. I thought that was a great joke.
Yeah. So all the Reds are in the cave now, which is pretty cool. So while they're doing that, the Blues.
So Tex is shooting basically the rest of the Blues because she knows that the O'Malley or the Omega, whatever you want to call it, is inside one of them, and she's just not taking any chances. And I really like this because, pretty much Sister's like clueless kind of what's going on in a sense, so they kind of clue them in. So they clue her in, and basically, like, since Church is leader, Sister, like, makes a point, like, saying, like, shouldn't you kind of go handle this situation? And Church's like, all right, I will handle this. And he makes her, like, negotiator or something like that, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
he's like, oh, yeah, we're all very proud of you. Anyway, now go calm her down.
Yeah, and pretty much, like, Church tries to go do it himself. No, she just stopped shooting, so Church thinks she's run out of bullets, so he, like, peeks his head up, and he gets shot and killed, and basically his body, and you always forget, too, like, before this scene, I always forget that Church is supposedly dead, like, because...
Yeah, I know, I forgot that, too. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, Church is, like, a ghost.
Yeah. So, pretty much then, Tex pretty much reveals that she knows that O'Malley jumped into one of them, and she's not taking any chances. I like the joke they did when they pretty much just say, "Oh yeah, Sheila's been acting weird." She just instantly like takes their word for it. I thought that was pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
And then pretty much they want to find a way to figure out what's going on with Sheila, but pretty much they know if they just openly say, "Hey, we know you're O'Malley," they're pretty much good as dead because it's a freaking tank.
Exactly. And
And
half of them got killed by Sheila anyway, so.
yeah. So pretty much since Caboose and Sheila got along the best, they pretty much are gonna use Caboose as a distraction so that way Tex can deactivate Sheila, put her into the ship to see if O'Malley's inside of her, and they're gonna like deactivate like the ship so that way she can't like fly away and stuff like that. And this was pretty damn great because they're actually like rehearsing this. And pretty much Caboose is like, in a way like admitting his love to like Tex in practice. And like Tucker, since he's the pervert, walks up and he missed like the whole conversation, so he's hearing this out of context, and he just instantly thinks like this is real, which is pretty damn great.
Yeah, and then Tex like starts hitting on Tex, and Tex just like punches him in the face.
Yep. And
by the way, sorry, before that, Doc was like giving a checkup on Sister, and like it's a joke that like she's super hot, but like Tucker can't see her.
Yep. And
honestly, that's kind of a flaw of this season. It's like they introduce Sister, but like they don't really do much with her.
Yeah, I would say that. She has like a armor off. And this was pretty damn funny because like Tucker comes in and he's like a polite pervert pretty much, where he's asking pretty much like, "Hey, I can come in there if you need any help." And like Donut, I think the joke is too, like in a sense Doc's being a little bit perverted, but he's also doing his job. So like basically like it's implied that she's in like a bunch of sexual positions. And Doc while Doc's like asking her to do stuff. And pretty much if you can like name all the sexual jokes, like he asks her like to kind of spread her legs out, and you can pretty much, connect the dots.
And Tucker's so mad he's missing all that, and honestly, I don't blame him.
Well, I don't know what she looks like, so.
Oh well, I mean, neither do I. They don't show what the reds and blues look like, but like from what they say, she's hot.
Yeah. Well, looks are subjective in a sense, though. So.
Yeah, I guess.
But anyhow, then
Plus, I mean, like, to poor Tucker, he's been with these assholes for like 3 years, and like finally a girl shows up and he can't do anything about it.
I know, it's pretty damn. I feel bad for him. Yeah, and I did say, at least, like I said, at least he's a polite pervert because.
The only action he's gone is with an alien.
Yeah, it's basically rape, pretty much.
Oh yeah, pretty much, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Which actually, that's kind of even more funny now to think about it, because he kind of has it coming in a sense. He sees the pervert, but whatever.
Yeah.
Then Caboose is distracting Sheila, and he's doing a pretty damn shitty job because he's basically like admitting their plan in a way. And like I like it too because like you see Church like in the background like pop up and like try to give him advice, and basically when Caboose just completely fucks up, he's like, "Okay, you on your own, buddy," and he just leaves.
Yeah, he's like, "All right, Caboose, I don't want both of us to die, so I'm gonna leave."
Yeah, it's pretty damn great. And then because he basically like gives away that Tex is right behind Sheila, but Sheila goes to admit that who O'Malley is really inside, but we're not really sure at this point if she's being genuine or not, because we know O'Malley is a liar. So. But before she can reveal,
as soon as she's about to reveal who supposedly O'Malley's inside of, Tex shuts her down.
Yep. Then Tex basically says everything that happened in Recovery 1, Out of Mind. She basically recaps it, but then we found out what actually happened to Wyoming, because we didn't actually know. We just saw her hit him, and then it ended. So we found out that Wyoming, actually transported, but he himself didn't transport. So basically, Church figures out what happened, and he radios into Gary, and he asks Gary pretty much about the situation, and Gary lies and saying, that he's not evil, and he just quickly hangs up and changes the subject. And then we see actually at his base, Wyoming's there, and Wyoming says, knock, knock. Now, this is actually quite clever, because what they did is they actually teased this, and they gave a little hint about it in the intro, because you see Gary say, knock, knock. So I thought that was...
in the on his computer screen. And it's really, you really need to watch Out of Mind to, like, understand that. Because, like, you know, York says, like, Wyoming and Gamma said, like, knock, knock jokes a lot. So, or, like, Wyoming picked up knock, knock jokes from Gamma or something like that.
And
in the same way that, like, O'Malley is Omega and Allison's names put together, Gary is Gamma and Reginald's name put together, which I think is really cool.
Yep. And then we still don't know what Wyoming's, like, actual power is.
Because Church is like, oh, so his ability is to teleport, and Texas is like, no, it isn't, but, like, someone else grabbed him. So Gamma's, like, power in the computer thing was to teleport people, but now he's out of the computer and back in Wyoming. We don't know what his power is.
But we know, like, he has Gary's power now since he's inside Wyoming.
Yeah.
And basically, that was kind of... A lot of stuff happened with the Blues, and that was pretty damn awesome. I really like the surprise they did with that.
The twist with Gamma was really cool.
Yeah.
I also like that, like, because, you know, we kind of knew there was a conspiracy going on since, like, season 2. But, like, Tex is, like, the first one to actually, like, bring it up now, you know, that, like, it's something weird is going on, because, like, she mentions, like, there's a lot of people working against us right now. Like, there's some weird conspiracy going on.
Yep.
She mentions York and Carolina, which is, like, that's weird, too, because, like, we don't really know anything about them so far. Like, we saw York, but we didn't see Carolina.
Yep.
But supposedly she's dead. And, like, it's also something weird going on with the future, because, like, first it was weird, because, like, they made up this weird excuse with, like, sister coming to the future. But now Tex is like, York had a healing unit, so they think maybe that kept him alive for so long.
Yep.
So, again, that's just, like, I think it's cool that now, finally, like, the other Reds and Blues know about, like, there's a conspiracy.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, Vic Radio... Actually, wait, actually, wait, we should talk about the Red stuff, because what Vic's about to say to Church, we haven't talked about that yet, so that's
right. Because Vic calls Church because of what the Reds are doing.
Yeah.
So Sarge and Donut are together in the cave, and so are Simmons and Griff are looking for them. Didn't call them earlier because his radio broke when the ship fell on him.
Yeah.
But Sarge is still working, so Sarge calls Simmons, and they're trying to find each other. I like the joke that, like, Simmons and Dex and Griff are, like, standing on, like, a peninsular rock or something.
Yeah.
But because Sarge says it's, like, a penis-shaped rock, Donut knows where it is.
Yeah.
So I think that's
one funny joke they do is Sarge thinks somebody's watching them, so they redo kind of the thing that O'Malley did in season 3, where, like, you know, he like aims his gun and is like, right, he's gonna come out at me right now, and, you know, basically when no one shows up, they basically just redid the joke, but it worked because I thought Sarge made it work, even though it was a repeat.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
So while Griff and Simmons are waiting for Sarge and Donut to find them, Simmons gets stabbed with, like, a drug thing. And then he passes out. And then Griff gets shot, like, 1,000,000 times with the same drug, and he gets knocked out, too.
Yep.
So when Sarge and Donut find them, Simmons is there, but Griff is gone. And you want to talk about, like, the whole joke with Donut?
Donut, when Simmons reveals that they were drugged, Donut takes it literally, and pretty much assumes that they were just doing drugs. So throughout the episode, he's basically, like, telling them to get their lives back together. And there's a funny joke where Donut's explaining, like, life, and we basically always talk about how life kind of isn't that good. Like, you consistently got to pay bills and, like, you know, constantly pay for schooling and all this stuff. Like, basically why everyone, like, says, oh, life, man. And when he's explaining all that, Simmons is just like, now you're making me want to do drugs, which was pretty damn great, because it's like, that's like the reason everyone kind of goes with everyone trying to talk someone out of drugs. And honestly, I think that's, I mean, I'm not excusing it, but this is probably why people say, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing drugs. Like,
I know, right? So I think, yeah, it's pretty funny. Sarge just wants to leave Griff for dead, but his shotgun was with Griff. So Sarge wants to go get a shotgun.
Yep.
So Simmons had chipped Griff's armor, so they find him, and I like how Sarge like walks over Griff to get his shotgun.
I even loved too before that, like they were talking about all these like he even had to find Griff before he even knew his shotgun was with him. He's like, yeah, we're not gonna find him. And then when he mentions the shotgun,
he's probably long gone by now.
Yeah, and then when he mentions the shotgun, he's like, yeah, we gotta find him.
Yeah. They find Griff, and he has a flashback to what happened when he was drugged out. We find out that 2 aliens are with Andy right now.
Yeah.
And Andy's translating for them. Andy isn't really a bad guy. He's just like, he's kind of neutral. He's kind of like working with whoever's got him at the moment.
I literally, too, was even thinking, like, kind of right before this scene happened, I'm like, what happened to Andy? He just kind of disappeared, and then...
Honestly, same thing with Lopez. We saw Lopez at the end of season 4, and then he just hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, yeah, up until that point, yeah. And what we talked about, too, one thing we really like about this season is this is the first time where, like, both the Reds and the Blues are actually, like, doing plot stuff. Because it's really only been the Blues really doing plot stuff.
Yeah. And honestly, I think, like, yeah, so cutting back and forth is a lot better in this season. Because, like, season 4, the Blue stuff was really the only thing that was super interesting. Like, whenever it cut back to the Reds, like, I thought it was funny, but I wasn't like, oh, boy, time to go back to the Reds.
Yeah, so this time, like, you were kind of... And we were consistently talking about, too, like, in shows, you have to have, like, that A and, like, B plot sometimes when you're writing a TV show. And what this season did was, in a sense now, they were both the A plot, but you really couldn't... They were both A and B plot, but you could really question, like, which one was really which. Like, they were both equally as important.
Yeah. So pretty much the Reds are exploring the cave and the Blues are dealing with the AI shit. So, you know, you can kind of pick and choose which one you're interested in. So they find Griff, and we find out that the aliens were asking about the kid and the sword. So they want something with Junior and Tucker's sword.
Yep.
But they quickly ran away because they heard, like, you know, the Sarge and everyone coming for Griff. So they're trying to figure out how to get out of the cave and back to the surface. But Donut realized, oh, hey, wait a second. Oh, no, sorry, that's later on. They find this computer while underground.
Oh yeah, and they find Doc examining Sister, and you can tell
and everyone's
love that.
Staring at everyone's checking out Griff's sister, and Griff is super pissed off. But Simmons is like, hey, how come you're not mad about Donut looking? And then Donut's like, oh my god, their interior decorating is so good. And Griff's like, that's why he gets the look, because he's the gay one. He doesn't care. Yeah,
that was pretty damn great, yeah. So then pretty much then it cuts I know they leave the computer and I think basically to get out of the cave.
So Vic calls up Church and he's like, hey, attack the Reds now, you should. And he's like, send some people through the caves too. So like he's clearly trying to like get them to go underground, find the Reds and kill them.
Because he's found the computer. And that's and the Reds actually, now I remember, see the Blues like coming on the computer like to their base. So basically they're just gonna go to the Blues base. So they're gonna switch bases pretty much.
But before that, the Blues are up to go attack the Red base. So I guess they're ignoring the Sheila's. Well, they're not ignoring the O'Malley stuff, but what they're doing is like they're transferring Sheila into the ship.
Yeah.
That crash landed. So while they're waiting to do that, they're just gonna go like attack the Red base.
Yeah. This is I'll talk about this stuff. So this is Tex, Tucker, and Church all go to like attack the Reds.
Yeah. Well,
Caboose,
Sister, Doc, and Junior are going through the caves because like they're not really fighters, so they're just kind of
yeah.
like gonna hide out through the battle.
And
And
then
Caboose is like waiting to see when Sheila comes back online.
yeah. So they do a funny bit where like Tex like is gonna go like I guess ambush one of the Reds, and there's a funny bit where Tucker wants to hold Church's sniper because he like never gets to hold it, so he finally lets him hold it, and he doesn't know how to work it, so he shoots Tex, and then Church is like, "This is why I never let you hold it. You don't know how to work this thing." And when he grabs it, Tex thinks it was Church, and Tucker pretty much blames him, saying like, I told him never to do that or something, and she hits Church. So it was pretty damn funny.
Yeah. Oh, and before they leave, I like how like Tucker like gives Junior a bunch of like fatherly advice. Like, there's no such thing as a permanent record. There's no girls on the internet. Invest in real estate, stuff like that.
And we find
I
out.
like how Junior's like says "Bow Chicka Honk Honk," which is like
Yep.
like the alien version of Tucker's "Bow Chicka Bow Wow" catchphrase.
Yep. So then pretty much Church goes down. Church and Tucker are gonna go down and like attack the Reds. And Sheila comes back through the tank. And she finally reveals to Caboose who O'Malley's inside. And I like how we didn't really find out. Like she just said it, but like it cut away before she said who it was to kind of give us that suspense. And Caboose tells Tex, and we see Tex like hold Church at gunpoint, and we're left to think that it is Church because he's like, oh crap, because like he thinks like he's been figured out, but we find out.
Sorry, can I say this real quick?
Yep.
While when they cut away, so we don't see what Sheila says, Church and Tucker are like, oh, I guess the Reds aren't here, so I guess we win. And they're like, oh, so now we have two bases in the middle of a box canyon. Whoop-de-doo. So like, I like how it's not like, oh, we win, awesome. It's like, oh wow, we won. I mean, it's everything still sucks.
Yeah. So then we find out that Caboose actually told Church that Sheila told Caboose that the O'Malley was inside the leader of the Blues. So Caboose tells Tex this, and she thinks that Church is the leader because he kind of is at this point. But we find out, Church realizes instantly that he really isn't the leader because he wasn't good enough to be a leader, and he figures out that the aliens revived Sunflower.
Flowers.
I thought it was Sunflower.
No, it was Captain Flowers.
Oh, Captain Flowers, and now the O'Malley's inside him, and we see like they cuts away, and O'Malley, who's inside Flowers, and the two aliens and Andy kidnap Junior, Doc, and Sister, and then back at the Red base, Wyoming pops up and he holds Church, Tex, and Tucker at gunpoint, and pretty much.
Well, hey, while we're there, we should probably come back over the Reds, right?
Yeah, then the Reds
Yeah, because last we found out. Okay, so the Reds were at the computer, but Sarge tried calling Vic again, but Simmons heard like a weird echo, so he went back towards the computer, and something weird was going on with Vic. Like Vic quickly was like, "Oh no, gotta go by." So we're led to assume like Vic is down there in the cave with them.
Yeah, and we see like Vic's working with them because we think we hear like Flowers talking to Vic. Like later on in the episode, I think it's like right around the time he kidnaps like Doc and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and but the Blues, the Reds realize that the Blues are like at their base, so they want to go back up to the so like they're gonna go up to the Blue base and capture that base. And this is before they realize that this is before they reveal that Flowers is alive again. But Donut's like, oh hey, I found 2 blue dead bodies, so that means that their Blue base is right above us. And Simmons is like, wait, I thought the Blues had 3 dead guys.
Yeah,
So
so
that
they
was
kind
like a hint before about like flowers.
and like I said, I like it because it's like, even though like Donut's the dumb one, he has like his moments of brilliance. Like he had it I think in season 3 where he came up with something genius.
Yeah.
And then
So the Reds go back up through the caves. They find Andy, who the alien just abandoned him after Flowers learned enough alien to like get by.
yeah.
And I like how the Reds are like, we're going into battle unmanned and out of ammo. What? Why do we need a bomb?
Yeah, that was pretty damn funny.
So Sarge being an idiot again, which I think is funny.
And then I like it when they
back to the blue base, I guess.
I like it when they find too. When Sister finds Lopez, she's trying to communicate with him, but her Spanish is like really crappy, and that's like a running joke throughout like the whole show. Like everyone's Spanish is too crappy to talk to Lopez, and like Lopez is just basically like, he hates his life pretty much.
I know. Poor Lopez. He no one understands him, and he's a fucking head.
Yeah, and he only speaks Spanish, and he only plays videos that are in Spanish. It's like,
I know, right? And I like how Doc finds him, and he's like, "Oh, it's you." And Lopez is like, "Oh, gee, thanks for caring about your sidekick. I'm gone for days, and you don't even look for me."
Yeah, because he thinks O'Malley's still like inside him. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So Lopez is like, "Thanks, boss. Appreciate it."
Yeah. I'll still never forget, even though like we're past that. One of my favorite moments of season 3 is when O'Malley asked Lopez for him to, he says he wants a day in war, and he makes an army that's literally gonna take him a day just to war. It's pretty damn great. But anyhow, now back to the blue base, because this is where it gets really good.
Or red base with the blues. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. So Wyoming basically reveals that he's gonna use Junior, because he wants the sword as well. Because I guess since Junior's related to Tucker, like he got some of his inheritance, so that way he can use the sword as well. He reveals that he wants to use this so that way they can not win the war with the aliens. Because the joke in this game is, I think when this game came out, it was you could also fight aliens in the game, so that's where that kind of ties in. Pretty much Church then radios into Caboose, and he basically is explaining that they're basically held hostage by Wyoming, and he's like over-explaining it so Caboose will understand it, but he still doesn't understand it because he's an idiot. So
yeah, and I like how Caboose is like, "Oh, I think Omega's made Church crazy," because like he still thinks that Omega's inside of Church.
Yep, and we see the tank leave, and we think it. Caboose thinks like Sheila transferred back into the tank and is gonna go save him, and then because like Church even said, like told Caboose to go in the tank, and afterwards when it cuts back, Wyoming's like, "Why are you over explaining what happened?" Which is pretty damn great because like
I like how even Tucker and Tex are like, "Why, dude? Are you like the narrator? Like, shut up."
Yeah.
And I like how we get to see like Church keep over explaining it, even though it doesn't cut back to Caboose.
Yeah.
I think it's funny just to see things from their point of view. Like Church is just like talking like a crazy person.
Yeah. So then, and speaking of crazy person, because that will tie in a second, which we think. Yeah. So then the tank pops up, and we find out that Gamma took over the tank. And yeah, pretty much now the Blues are fucked pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
And
Tex goes invisible.
And then Tucker starts talking like a crazy person. Like he's kind of like, "Wait, what's happening right now? What's going on?" Like I'll just tell you, I don't know, but when you could say how what your reaction was when you first watched this. When I first saw this, I felt like Tucker like went crazy or something like that. Like he went in denial, and they were like doing a joke with it, but they actually did something with it.
Yeah, I was definitely confused. I was like, "Oh, has Tucker like not been paying attention?"
Yeah.
But I really like what they do with this kind of the show. Like, okay, this is what it looks like when we don't know what's going on with Tucker.
Yeah. And Wyoming he's like, "Wait, I know what's going on here." Pretty much. Like he knows like Tucker knows something.
Yeah.
And because he even says to like Gary afterwards, like he knows pretty much.
Yeah. But because Tex was invisible, she was waiting for her opportunity to attack Wyoming. But Wyoming just punches her, like it knocks her out, even though like he shouldn't know where she is. And Tucker's like, "What do you mean? That's where she was last time." And Church is like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. So then, I even love the moment. I think this is right afterwards. Like Caboose realizes he basically has to go make the save, and he's like telling Sheila like his plan pretty much, and Sheila basically in a computerized way is saying that this plan's gonna basically fail, but he just basically goes and does it anyway.
He was like negative. This is a bad idea. Don't do this. Negative. So Caboose runs off to go help them. Church and Tucker quickly run off from Wyoming and Gamma, and they're getting shot at.
Yeah. And then Gamma shoots and kills Caboose when he runs over. And Tucker shoots.
Church shoots Wyoming, and like he falls over.
Yeah.
And Church is like, "Sweet, I hit him." But Tucker's like, "No, this is exactly what happened last time. Wyoming got hurt, and then everything reset."
Yeah.
And then as soon as he said reset, it everything went back into place.
Which it kind of sucks because this is the one time like Church actually caught somebody. Like
I know, right? Like they even say like, "Oh, sweet, I finally killed someone," and then he just fucking resets it. That's poor Church.
Yeah, but so then it cuts back, and basically we found out that every time Wyoming gets hurt, he resets the time frame to like when he takes hostage of Tex and stuff. But like. Tucker's the only one that knows about it because he has access to the sword, and the sword.
So the sword makes him like immune to time travel.
Yeah. So the second time, he tries it again, because pretty much he gives away Tech's location, and basically I forget exactly what happens the second time, but he hurts him the second time. I think but then I think it happens like several more times over. Or at least it's implied.
So Tucker's like, well, Caboose dies again, and they're like, Tucker's like, I think it's okay because every time Wyoming loses, everything resets, and then as soon as like he said that, it resets again. And then so I guess like off screen, Tex just like killed Wyoming or something.
Yeah. So then this time Tucker just pretends he doesn't know what's going on. Because he had to like explain the plan again about like why he wants Junior. So like Wyoming thinks like he's not suspicious and he doesn't know what's happening. So he uses this opportunity to kill Wyoming and stabs him like right through his gut with the sword.
So Wyoming like dies and Gamma's like, "Oh no, Reggie." So Wyoming's the main Wyoming just got stabbed in the chest. So that was pretty smart on Tucker.
Yeah.
And poor Wyoming. Like Wyoming's power is so OP, but like he was going against the one person that wasn't affected by time travel.
Yeah, right.
Like if he was going against literally anyone but Tucker, he would have won.
Yeah, pretty much. So then Tucker explains this to Church, and since Church has done this before. We find out now that there's like a ton of copies of Wyoming now.
So Tucker and Church start running away from all the Wyomings that were hiding in the red base.
Yeah, and then
Tucker like knows where everyone is because he's time traveled so much. So like he knows when Gamma's gonna shoot his tank or like when the Wyomings are gonna shoot.
Yeah. So he has Church and Tex basically kill all of the Wyomings, and pretty much
hold them off at least while he tries to deal with the tank.
And pretty much the Blues, like everything, like looks like all bad for the Blues. We see the Reds watching this, and we should mention too, the Reds even kind of feel the effect of the time travel, but they more feel like deja vu because like they even said like let's grab a couple of beers when they see like basically the Blues are going to be destroyed. And pretty much, they even say, like, looks like we won, guys. And Griff...
Oh, hold on. That happens a little later. We should probably talk about what happens with, like, the tank. So Tucker has Caboose distract the tank, and then while he's doing that, Tucker goes in and, like, takes Gamma out of the tank and puts him in the ship with Sheila.
And Gamma gets trapped behind a firewall. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how Caboose doesn't know what's happening, so he's just like the tank is right in front of him. He's like, okay, can I move now? Is he gonna kill me?
I even
All right,
love to, they even do a joke about this where, Tucker gives like this speech, saying like, sometimes I don't know if you just don't care or don't really know what's going on. And Church like not Church, Caboose like doesn't even understand his speech at all, which is pretty damn funny.
And I like how
so then,
Caboose like fucks up Tucker's like catchphrase. He says like, "Hey, chicka bump bump."
Yeah, right. That was pretty. And I love too. Like Tucker was the one too. Like you never would have thought like in season 3, Tucker would be the one taking charge right now because he's like such a.
That's a good thing about season 5. I feel like almost everyone gets like a little bit of shine.
Yeah. So then all the
Tucker
Reds
meets back up with Tucker. With Church and Tex, and they're like pinned behind a rock.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about what's going on at the blue base with the Reds.
So we've seen like throughout this, like the Reds have been watching this, and they pretty much say like, we looks like we've won, folks. This had happened a few times, and the Reds had felt like deja vu from this time travel. But then when finally the time travel is like not in effect anymore, pretty much they realize like that they've won, and pretty much Griff, of course, says like basically we won't have anything really to do if the Blues win. So pretty much Griff realizes
he's like, oh sweet, the Blues are gonna get killed and we don't have to do anything. And then Sarge is like pissed off like by that because like he wants to be the one to kill the Blues.
Yeah.
And I like how as soon as Griff says that, he's like, I gotta learn to shut my fucking mouth.
So they get inside the Warthog and basically help kill all of the Wyomings.
They pretty much do. They pretty much run over and kill like most of them.
Yeah. So then the last Wyoming that's alive reveals the plan that like O'Malley's gonna take over Junior, and so that way they can win the war with the aliens.
Which is like a reference to Halo. Like you don't need to know about Halo super much. Just like know the basics. Like okay, there's a war going on with aliens and humans.
Yep. So then he basically says too, like once he hears this plan, like Tex is gonna go along with it, and Tex does go along with it, thinking like it's gonna bring peace to like the human world. But Tucker and Church don't want this to happen because then O'Malley pretty much will have an army of aliens behind him, and pretty much he'll be unstoppable if he has an army of aliens behind him.
Yeah, and Tex is like, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, type of thing.
Yeah. So Tex kills the final Wyoming, so he's like dead for good now.
Yeah, just shoots him in the head. Doc and Sister are still underground, and they reveal that like Flowers just passed out, so they know Omega's in someone else right now.
And we find out
the Reds were gonna kill all the Blues, but then Caboose was like, "Hey, Reds, come over here and fight me." So the Reds are like chasing Caboose to kill him.
And then Omega jumps inside Simmons. And what I really liked about this jump is this is the first time like you've actually gotten to see like Omega actually jump inside someone. Like he really like zoom in on the person he's jumping inside. So that was pretty damn cool. And Simmons is acting, all evil. He wants to kill everybody. So
I like how we get to see like how Omega affects different people.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Like and, Simmons is like still Simmons. He's just like evil. Like he's like super over the top.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to kill everyone. He wants everyone to kiss his ass. Like he wants to be the boss of everyone.
Yeah. And Sarge even like says like let's get to an emergency, whatever the number was, and it's just to basically beat the crap out of Griff.
Yeah, pretty much whenever Sarge is like initiate emergency plan, whatever, Donut just shoots Griff, which is pretty. Poor Griff. I'm surprised he didn't die.
Yeah. Right. So then. Basically, Tex is just trying to, because actually what happened, we forgot to mention, is Tex did like an open radio, so like, Omega like jump inside of, her.
Yeah, and then Church turned on his radio too, so like it's harder for Omega to find her. Because like Omega can't, like he can't tell who he's going into, I guess.
Yeah.
And
so then,
Tucker's like, I'm not gonna turn on my radio because I don't want him to get the sword. So really, Tucker's like the only one Omega doesn't go inside of.
yeah, which makes sense actually.
And Sister, I guess, but Sister's like underground.
Yeah. So then Doc, I think Doc again, since he's underground too.
Oh yeah.
So pretty much, Church comes over and reveals that what happened to the Reds. Omega's inside Simmons. So what ends up happening is they try to get Omega out of Simmons, but Caboose turns his radio on and he jumps inside Caboose.
Yeah, because Caboose was like, "Hey, wait, are we still talking on the radio?" Because Tex like comes over and beats the shit out of Simmons.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
And then Tex jumps inside, Caboose, and Church jumps inside Caboose, and they actually redo the scene from season 2 where they're all inside Caboose.
Yeah. Although before that, Church says, "Hey, if I'm not out in a certain amount of time, I need you to do something. I need you to disable the ship."
Yeah.
But Sarge takes us as, "All right, I'm gonna blow up the ship." So he grabs Andy from one of the caves and puts him in the ship.
And that ties in later. Yeah. So then, inside Caboose, pretty much, obviously we know, it's all like how everybody is in Caboose's mind. So basically everybody is stupid. So Caboose, Church has everyone that's inside Caboose, take him to Caboose himself, and pretty much Church asks if there's any weird occurrences happening in your mind, and basically Caboose says no, but there's two people beating the crap out of each other, so pretty much Church just realizes yep, this is Omega and Tex.
Although he meets Caboose's weird version of Sister, and it's funny how his backstory is completely different than what actually happened at church. It's like, what the fuck, Caboose? Do you not listen to anything we tell you?
Yeah. So then we see Church sees Tex and Omega, and
they're not fighting, they're talking, and Church is like, oh fuck, that's bad.
Yeah. So then Church tries to get Tucker to go up with the sword, but then
fake Tucker.
Yeah, fake Tucker. Fake Tucker. But he realizes pretty much that fake Tucker's too stupid to realize he's the only one that can use the sword, so he's able to actually use the sword himself.
Well, he's it's kind of like Caboose is too stupid to get the rule, so it doesn't matter in his head. It's like running on Caboose logic.
Yeah.
Church like, oh sweet, I can use the sword because Caboose is too stupid to realize I couldn't normally.
Yeah. So then,
I like how Church runs out and stabs Omega and Tex, and he's like, sweet, I'm a fucking Jedi.
But then he realizes that he has to die himself to get out of Caboose. But pretty much he just has to blow himself up because they even mentioned they just have the guns. There's not even any ammo inside of them, which was pretty damn.
I think you even said that's a pretty funny reference to they don't really use the guns that much. They just carry them around.
Yeah.
Although, the Sister version of Caboose gets too close to Church when he blows up. So when Church pops out of the Caboose's head, so does this Church. And but he gets too close to one of the Wyomings, and he gets sent back to season 3.
Yep.
So, that's what happened with the Yellow Church.
Yep.
I thought that was just a cool tie-in, that we find out what happened with that.
Yeah, nice tie-in there. So then Captain Flowers is talking to I think he's talking to Simmons or Tucker. And he actually is about to reveal the big way that because that's a tie-in to season 4. There was this big way the Reds were gonna defeat the Blues. And he pauses it's as if in a show you pause for dramatic effect, but there's no reason for him to do this. And then they call it out Tucker calls it out. He's like, "Why did you pause?" I don't know. I just paused for no apparent reason. He just gets shot and dies. And
I like how Tucker isn't even upset. He's like, "Well, good thing anyway, because I'm keeping the armor."
Yeah, that was pretty damn cool.
Yeah. So Flowers died, came back to life, and then died again. Poor guy. Yeah.
So then Omega's jumping in basically to everyone. He jumps inside Griff.
He jumps inside a donut first, and then I like how Donut's just like, again, this like, he's not even like super evil. He's just like donut version of evil.
Yeah, and then he jumps inside Sarge, which is basically like an evil Sarge. It's just Sarge, but like kicked up like 10 notches.
Yeah, and then so Tex keeps like punching everyone to knock Omega out of them. Is what's happening.
Yeah.
So Omega just keeps going in like a line. As soon as she knocks out Sarge, he goes inside Griff, and Griff is like, I want to conquer the universe for some reason, but like I'm too lazy. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. And then
he jumps inside a Doc, and Doc is like, back to being O'Malley.
Yeah.
And then Omega jumps inside a Church, and Church isn't like affected.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, he's like, I don't feel that different. No, just the same.
Yeah. So I actually kind of like that. That might mean something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say if it does or not. And then Tex like knocks out Church, and then Omega goes inside of Tex, and then she quickly just grabs one of the Wyoming helmets. The aliens get in the ship, and they're about to take off. But Sarge radios Andy and says to detonate. And the ship quickly like goes into like super drive or whatever, so like it disappears. And like and Church is like, oh, what happened? And then we just see in the distance like a
Yep, big explosion.
By the way, rest in peace, Andy.
Yeah, that's sad.
Like he blew up. I'm
not
sure if he died or not.
I really love too of how Simmons like he is even like disappointed that there was no explosion, and then the explosion just happens right afterwards.
Yeah, and then Griff was like, "What explosion? I didn't see it. I blinked."
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much we don't really know what happened to Tex and the two aliens, and the Wyoming head we know what happens to, because
a lot of half the cast was in that ship. Sheila, Gamma, Tex, the two aliens, Junior, and Andy. We know for sure Andy's dead because he's the one who blew up. So 5 characters are not accounted for right now.
We're meant to think that they're dead, but
yeah, we're meant to think they're dead, but like we're not sure.
And Church is just all depressed.
Like, starts walking away, and he's like all depressed. He's like, you know what, you guys do whatever the fuck you want. I'm gonna go back to the base.
Yep. And then
and like Tucker's kind of bummed out too, because like you think his kid just died.
Yep. And I want to talk about this part, because since this was like the first thing I saw ever, since it's the first episode. So then it like cuts to credits. We think the episode's over. However, they basically redo the first episode, except this time, Church and Tucker. Oh, I thought it was Tucker.
No, it was Caboose.
Oh, well, Church and Caboose are having a conversation where they ask each other why we're here. And this time it's different, because Church then says like that. And it's pretty much the moral of the whole show, where everybody just hates someone just for no reason. But you really got to get to know. But you really got to get to know somebody sometimes, get to know what makes them tick, and to really know if you really truly hate somebody. Which I actually kind of think is a kind of cool message in a way.
Yeah, it's like not the usual like don't hate anyone. It's like no, hate people. Just make sure you know they're a fucking asshole before you do it.
Yeah.
And I like how he even like names everyone in the show. He's like, hate someone if they're an asshole or a pervert or something. He just like names like the trait of everyone in the show.
Yep. And then pretty much then Caboose is just like, no, I mean, why are we standing on this base? Why are we not on the ground? So it's kind of
bad. Like in the shade. And then it cuts back to Griff and Simmons, who are watching through the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything. All they ever do is talk. And they're just like, I fucking hate you, man. And Simmons is like, I hate you too, buddy. Like, kind of showing that they do kind of like each other a little bit.
So I like it. Was kind of a cool way to redo this scene, because now we've seen the characters like develop. Like when we saw this before, it was just kind of done as a joke to like all video games. But now there's actually like a reason to do this scene. It's kind of like a nice hindsight type of thing that we've seen these characters like develop so much now. And it's also just kind of nice because it made me kind of want to go back and rewatch the first episode just for this scene alone. And man, just from because let me look it up real quick. The first episode I think came out in like 2004.
Something like that. It came out a while ago.
And then this was like 2000. By the time this episode aired, it was 2007. So
yeah, it was like 5 years.
The quality's definitely improved since that first episode. We'll just say that.
Yeah, definitely. And then that's pretty much it. Sarge tells them that they got a new vehicle. Simmons and Griff go back to the base, and then
I love how they make the joke saying, "I hope you didn't call it the Warthog again." I thought that was pretty damn great.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, it definitely feels like the end of an era. But that's not the only ending that we saw, though. Let's talk about the other endings. We'll just take
alternate endings that I showed Owen.
We'll just
first alternate ending is probably my favorite.
Yeah, we'll take turns talking about each one.
Yeah, sure. So I'll talk about this one.
Yeah, sure.
So pretty much after the ship blows up, Sarge starts making fun of the Blues, saying how like, oh, I thought women and children first meant, and then Sarge just shoots, Church shoots Sarge in the head.
Yep.
And then like an all-out fight happens. Caboose gets in the tank and kills Church immediately. Of course, team kills him.
Yep.
And then pretty much everyone kills each other is the whole point. And then it finally comes down to Donut versus Caboose. And Donut's about to run over Caboose, but Caboose blows him up with a rocket launcher. And Caboose is like, I did it. I won. I'm the best. And then Donut's broken vehicle comes down and lands on Caboose.
What I even loved from this, and that I just remembered, is Tucker finally has a chance to basically have sex with sister, but she dies right before he can. So
yeah.
pretty damn great.
And I like how everyone says screams like son of a bitch before they die. I mean, that's always been a thing that since the first time, but it just you really see it a lot here.
I really like too, like I said, that it was of course Donut and Caboose that were the last two, the two dumbest ones on the team were the last ones that died.
Yeah, pretty much they were the ones who started the whole show if you think about it. If it wasn't for Donut and Caboose, the flag wouldn't have gotten stolen, Church wouldn't have died, Tex wouldn't have showed up. So the whole show happened because of them.
Yep. And so that's alternate ending 1. Alternate ending 2. Basically the ship still blows up, or at least Andy still blows up. And what ends up happening is, pretty much Sarge is calling Vic for backup, and Vic pretty much says, we're not sending backup because we sent backup before, and basically you guys still sucked.
Yeah, you guys, Vic even reveals you guys ruined our plans. So Vic even revealed he was a bad guy.
And he goes down to underground and starts smashing the computer and says if you smash this computer, everything the world will pretty much cease to exist. And he destroys the computer, and we find out it was just everyone having an Xbox Live match, pretty much. Which is pretty.
And I like how I love that. That was pretty funny. You see everyone in the group chat, and they're like, "That was a weird match."
Yep.
And then and I like how Tucker's just screaming "Bow chicka bow wow," and Tucker's like, "You know what? Just mute him."
Yep. I bet too. Can you imagine what would you have done if you had actually played that in an Xbox Live match?
I would have been I would have exactly what they did. I would have been so weirded out.
I don't think I'd never play a video game again because it wouldn't get any better than that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you peak right there. And I like how it plays fake credits. You see fake voice actors for the characters. You see some Asian lady playing Sarge, which is pretty funny.
So then that's alternate ending number 2.
The third one was the aliens one, right?
I don't remember when they happened. I just remember.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we'll just go over. I'll go over this one because it's the shortest. The ship is about to go away, and Tucker's and Church is like, "Oh wait, no, Tex, come back!" And then the ship actually does turn around, she's about to come back. And Kirk's like, hey, look, she's coming back. But hey, that ship doesn't have like weapons, right? And then Tech shoots a rock at everyone and they die. So pretty much that was the other alternate ending. It was the only one where Tex doesn't get blown up.
Yeah, pretty much. And that ending I kind of like because it's just kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just funny that Tex actually does like turn around when Church asks her to.
Yeah. So then, the fourth one is my least favorite. I actually don't like this ending that much. Is basically the ship still blows up and an alien raid pretty much happens and they kill everybody and basically they redo the first episode except it's aliens. I don't like this ending because it just kind of makes the whole it makes really the whole ending of the season 5 pointless. Like Tex pretty much died all for just aliens just to
invade anyway. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And the fifth one, it's not my favorite, but I think it's pretty cool. There's one after this one.
One more I want to say about the fourth ending too. It really sucks too because pretty much all the characters had to basically just die and not the way we really want. It's an unsatisfying ending pretty much.
Oh yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's probably my least favorite out of the ones. I don't mind it too much because again, it's just an alternate ending. It's not the actual ending.
If this was the ending of the show though, I
would have been pissed.
Yeah.
I said my favorite. My favorite alternate ending is the first one where everyone kills each other.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's your favorite or not.
Well, I would say so. Yeah.
All right. Then there's two alternate endings left. The first one is the ship blows up, but then Church wakes up and it was all a dream from season 1 where he got blown up by the ship. I mean, by Sheila.
Yeah.
And so all of season 2, 3, 4, and 5 was just some weird dream Church had. And I like how it's oh, my girlfriend Tex was there, and Tucker, you were there, and Caboose, you were there. And this random other member of Blue Team was like, was I there, Church? And he's like, no, sorry, I guess I forgot about you.
That was funny, yeah. I know, yeah. And then
Simmons and Griff show up, and they just kill everyone. And then, that's the next ending.
Yep. And then the last one is pretty much everyone kind of dies, and we just kind of find out not dies, but we just find out what happens after. They do a thing as if it's a documentary of where everyone went from that point. And it's all comedy stuff. Sarge got fired for thinking he was better than everyone else or something like that. So.
Or I think it was he was gonna win an award, but he wouldn't. But he couldn't because he didn't reveal his true name. He wouldn't reveal his real name.
Yeah.
Sarge is the only one whose name we don't know yet.
Yeah, and then
or actually ever. I'm just gonna say that we don't ever find out Sarge's real name.
But pretty much it just is a bunch of comedy stuff about what happened to everybody afterwards and stuff. So yeah, the alternate endings are pretty good.
I like them. I'm glad they exist. I'm glad none of them are actually the ending.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's if they were thinking about this season being the last one. I'm glad they weren't because there were a lot of mysteries that we didn't find out about, what's up with Vic, what's up with all the conspiracy shit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of season 5 in the Blood Gulch Chronicles. Like we said, it's the last. We're gonna go back and review it again, but it's the last time we're reviewing a full season in the Blood Chronicle, whatever you call it.
The first half of the season is kind of like season 4. There's not really a whole lot of plot going on.
Yeah.
It's still very funny, and I think the last half is the best RVB's been so far.
Yeah. I like how it balanced out with comedy and plot. The plot, the first half's all comedy, but then the last half's all plot, pretty much.
And I do like how you even said it. There wasn't really an A and B plot. It was the Reds are doing important stuff, and so are the Blues.
Yep. So yeah, now we got to do the letter grade and the percentage within that letter grade. I'm gonna go first, because I haven't seen it. I'm gonna give it an A-, and I'm gonna give it a 94 out of 100. Almost an A, but not quite an A.
Yeah, I think that's good. I'm also gonna give it a 94 and A-. Definitely the best season out of the Blood Gulch Chronicle so far.
Yeah.
And it definitely gets better on rewatch. You get that you pick up a lot of things that they hint at later on in the show, which is it's surprising to think like, oh man, they planned this out way far back, that kind of thing.
Yeah, probably not in season 1, but I get what you're saying.
Huh?
Probably not in season 1, but I get what you're saying.
Oh, no, I'm saying like in season 5, like you really see a lot of like the stuff that they do later on, like really come together.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a really good season. I like it a lot. Probably like in my top 5 favorite seasons of Red vs. Blue.
Well, I can't really say that because I've only seen 5 seasons. So.
Oh yeah. It's number 1 on that top 5. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much the end of the video. We gotta do plugs and promotion, and you could actually promote something this time.
Oh yeah, I finally uploaded on my YouTube channel. Woohoo! It was for a school project, but it was still an upload. It still counts.
Yep.
Check out AJ Talent. I will be uploading reviews and stuff like that, and probably more school shit that I need to do for a grade.
So basically, school's the only reason that the YouTube channel is getting any activity right now.
Yeah,
so
pretty much. Oh yeah, we'll be going through Breaking Bad. All the seasons on Owen Talkinator, right?
Yep.
In preparation for the movie that comes out on October 11th. So check out Owen Talkinator. Wrestling Fortune 44 for all wrestling stuff. You made 2,000 videos a little while ago.
And yeah, this channel. I got good news. I uploaded unboxing last week, so I think this would be 9:55. Let me double check.
Oh yeah, so we'll do something special for episode 400. And by the way, for Red vs. Blue, the end of season 5 was episode 100 of the show, so that's a special occasion. Woohoo! We got 100 episodes of Red vs. Blue.
If only that could have been video 400.
I know, right?
We couldn't wait that.
That's not including Out of Mind.
Yeah.
That's like of the main show. Check out this. We'll be uploading Red vs. Blue Recovery 1 miniseries review shortly after this, so look forward to that.
It should. Yeah, it will probably be up because I upload the videos like one after another.
And I pretty much took care of all the plugs for you. So there you go.
Thank you. Actually, it's nice not to do them for once. I think we're at like, I'll tell you after we did this. I think we're at like 354. So this will be 355 when I upload this, and then Recovery 1 would be 356. So we'll only have like 3 more videos to do or something like that. So that's exciting.
What's up?
I was to say that's exciting.
It is exciting. I'm happy about that. Well, we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do for 400, but I'll look forward to that, whatever it is.
Like I said, not going to be a tribute video because they already did. Yeah. I'm not doing that.
After Recovery 1 and the Blood Gulch Chronicles review, we'll be taking a bit of a break from Red vs. Blue. Just because this is like the first big saga, so this is a good stopping point to focus on other stuff.
Yeah.
But in November, we will get back with season 6 and the Revelation trilogy.
What I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this, I guess we should say here. We wanted to get to season 10, but we're not going to get to season 10 because
just other stuff came up.
Yeah.
But that's fine because season 8 is also a very good stopping point.
Yeah. And then the goal is 2020 to be caught up where we can I don't know if we'll watch it like week to week, but season by watch the whole season like at once this time. So
yeah, so our plan is to be caught up by the time season 18 comes out.
Which we made the joke, we got to make it here. We're gonna get caught up, and season 18 is gonna be the last season.
Oh God, watch it, guaranteed. I mean, knock on wood. I love this show. I don't want it to end, but probably.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We have nothing left to talk about. We'll talk to you guys later.